Welcome to the Maine Outdoor Enthusiast podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Mark.
And we're back for another episode.
Yeah.
Episode number 8.
Number 8,
cranking them out. This one's going to be kind of an interesting one, kind of a multitude of things. So just real briefly, we're going to go over, I got a package from a YouTuber and deer hunter, Whitetail Warriors Deer Camp.
Yeah, fellow deer camp lover.
So we're going to open that. I'm looking forward to see what's inside of that. We had a recent fishing trip.
We did a real quick trip.
Evening, yep.
Yeah.
Which we had excellent fishing. We'll go over that. And then we had a viewer ask what we carry in our packs, deer hunting.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go over some gear that we carry. Nothing novel.
No, it's been talked about.
Pretty.
Yeah.
And we go pretty light.
Mine gets smaller every year, Paul, as I get older.
Sometimes I don't even carry a pack.
Yeah. You're right. I put it in my pockets, a sandwich, and real light.
So I'm itching at the bit to check out what's in this box.
Open your...
let's take a look.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is...
We have a drum roll? Yeah. Yes.
Look up Whitetail Warriors, their YouTube channel. It's pretty cool.
I have watched his show.
Yep.
His channel, I should say.
He's got a pretty good channel.
Yes, he does.
So he sent this unbeknownst to me. It was a surprise. And so I'm pretty pumped. So let's take a look.
It wasn't cheap just to get it to you, Paul.
Well, nothing's cheap nowadays.
No, it isn't. You're right. Everything's expensive. Dan's a good man.
Was he packaged it good?
Yeah, he did.
I don't want
the package came through in good shape. It must have come through UPS.
USPS.
Oh, well.
Well, actually.
They must have been on their game for a change.
Because it actually made it to the doorstep. All right. Oh, look at that.
Isn't that a sharp-looking hat, Paul?
It's got my name on the back.
It does. It does.
Check that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a sharp-looking hat.
Yeah, that is a nice-looking hat.
Thank you, Dan, very much. I appreciate that. Want to check it out?
I sure do. Yeah. Yeah, that is a nice hat, Paul.
That's a really nice hat.
Yeah.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
How's
that look?
Fortunately, your name's not Paul.
Well,
so
my father was Paul and my son is Paul, and a lot of people call me Paul.
They do.
So
they do.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear it.
There you go. You might have to.
So again, so check out Whitetail Warriors on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, now they're
pretty cool channel.
I think we talked. Their deer camp, Paul, is in. Is he from Wisconsin and the deer camps in the UP?
No, he's from Michigan.
Michigan, okay, but it's up in the UP.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Michigan.
They have a big deer camp tradition in
tradition.
Michigan. They do.
Because there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But Camp Benny's another one.
Yeah.
You watch a lot of them. What are some
I
other ones
do. Carl's Off-Grid Cabin. I think it's in the. I think he may be actually from Wisconsin, but his camp crosses over into the UP.
Okay.
Yeah. That, and I'm not real familiar with the borders there, but Wisconsin goes up into the UP.
Yeah.
On the western end of it. So.
Yeah. So Michigan's got a deep tradition.
Yeah.
In deer camps.
Yeah, they like their deer hunting.
They do.
So.
They do. A lot of interesting stories. There was one.
I think they call them yopers up there.
Do they?
Oh, I think that's what they're called.
Yopers. I think there's some pretty good books on Michigan deer camps, aren't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget. It was a while ago that I'd read.
Yeah.
I'd read one.
I've watched some on the old deer camps up there. I forget Onion Pickers or something. There's some old deer camps that I've watched that I think are from Michigan.
And I'm sure
old videos.
I'm sure, like most places in the country, that's changing.
Yeah,
isn't like isn't like it used to be. Land wise and stuff like that.
Right.
But,
right. Yeah, I don't know how it is up there. I don't know what it is. If it's there's a lot of public land up there, or if it's they own their property, they hunt off their own property, or what their situation is up there.
So, yeah, I want to thank Dan again. I appreciate it. Check out Whitetail Warriors Deer Camp. It's pretty cool. So, I guess next on the agenda is we had a fantastic fishing trip.
Yeah.
Last week. It was one of those fishing trips that you're on the fence on whether you should do it or not.
It's a long day. You worked all day.
The weather was going to be just about perfect.
It was.
It was overcast, no wind whatsoever, so it was going to be dead calm.
Yeah.
Relatively warm.
Yeah.
Comfortable, so potentially a good hatch.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was Tuesday night. I closed work at 5:30.
Yeah, and I met you at your work.
Yeah, so we left Ashland, and then we were another, hour and a half away or so.
And that was traveling fast.
And that was beating it through the woods as
Yeah,
fast
we
as we
were
could.
a long way from the pond when you get out of work, and you moved right along. So
you think, you leave at 5:30. We got there. We were actually on the pond at 7.
At 7, yeah.
7:03.
Yeah.
I think, because I told you we're going to be fishing by 7:15, and you were like, no.
Yeah.
No, and it was actually 7:03. We were on the water.
Yeah.
But you think, gosh, I'm going to drive an hour and a half to fish for
2 hours.
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
7 to 9. Yeah.
And then drive, it'll end up being
midnight pretty much when we get home, Paul.
2 hours and 15 minutes to get home.
Yeah.
Because I was already,
a
third of the way there.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was.
You can kind of second guess yourself. And I was like, boys, do I really want to do this? And
yeah.
So, but it paid off.
Yeah, it was
going in. We didn't know exactly. We had a couple ponds that we were planning on fishing, and some were a little bit closer.
Yeah,
we ended up going to the farther one.
Yeah,
and
we had good fishing.
Good fishing. We caught some trout that were some 3 pounds.
Some good sized brook trout. Yeah, some nice sized brook trout.
And we
on a dry fly.
Not to be selfish, but we probably could have caught more if there would have been a boat or two or on the water.
Yeah.
The loons on this particular pond are friggin' insane.
They are.
They will take the fish off your line, and they will follow you around the pond.
Yeah.
Anytime they're splashing or anything like that, they're right there. And you'll look down over the side of your gunnel into the water and see the back of the loons swimming underneath the canoe.
Yeah. The pond is only 4 or 5 feet deep, so and they'll right under your boat. It
makes you question putting your hand in the water there sometimes
when you reach down to pull the fish out.
So part of the problem
watch your fingers.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have many more to lose.
No.
So one of the problems is you catch a fish, especially if it's a decent fish, you want to haul it right in because they'll come grab it off your line.
Yeah.
And I've fought with a few loons.
Yeah, you've had them take the fish off the line. I
had one that grabbed the fish. It wasn't a very big, about 12 inches.
Yeah.
13 inches, grabbed the fish that I was bringing in, and you'll know it right away. Your line takes off and your rod goes right out straight.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not letting him have it.
No.
And he comes up out of the water. My line is going straight to the fish. He's got the fish sideways in his mouth, and I pulled it out of his mouth.
You did.
Drug it across. The fish was dead. I kept the fish.
Yeah, we ended up, we ate that
fish. We got a picture of it in the frying pan with beak marks on it.
Yeah.
That's
a few years ago that happened.
That loon let a bunch of kai eyes out of him when I was pulling on it.
Yeah.
But it makes it.
Yeah. And the problem was that evening we were the only ones on the pond, so the loon stayed with us the entire time.
Yeah. There's 2 of them.
Yeah. If there's other boats on the pond, they'll, go to the other boats once in a while if you're lucky. But they stayed right with us all night. So, which affected the fishing too while we were trying to fish because they're hanging 20 feet off the boat.
And fish are rising.
Yeah.
Loons come over and scatter them. So I guess, the first couple of fish, we're hauling them in pretty quick, nothing huge. And then you hooked a beautiful trout. And actually we thought the loon had it at first.
Yeah.
Because it was, and those fish will go fast.
Yeah, it was amazing how the runs he made back and forth, trying to get away from the loon, but looking back, we let those fish go, and the loons didn't need them.
I think I gotta suspect they're way too big.
I think they were too big for the loons
there's just no way
to bother with.
I've watched a loon take one that was like 14 inches, and I was impressed with that.
Yeah,
and he struggled.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, where does he put it?
Yeah,
they're a pretty big bird. We see them up close.
Yeah, these were fat fish, set between 17 and 18 inches. There, they were nice. They were nice brook trout.
So it was kind of, we were joking there. It wasn't even controlled chaos. It was just pure chaos there for 1 minute.
Yeah,
loons going back and forth.
Yeah.
And you're
somebody watching that little short video you have and not knowing what the situation was, they think there's a lot of chaos, and there was a lot of chaos, but that's not how we fly fish, but that's how we had to do it at that point.
We'll see the full picture here, because one guy had mentioned.
Yeah, I saw that comment.
Boy, there's lots of line everywhere. I'm thinking, man, you don't know the half of it.
Yeah, we were under a chaotic situation, trying to
fighting with the loons and
yeah.
So then, that one was right around 18 inches, just shy of 18 inches.
Yeah.
Fat though, nice and dark.
Yeah,
it was a nice male.
Yeah, beautiful fish. Yeah, good color on them and fat and
healthy. Then we caught a couple more that were right around the same size.
Yeah, I think you got 2 that were between 17 and 18.
And then, like I said, I guess not to be selfish, but we could have caught some more. Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
if there was one other boat.
Yeah, we were being harassed. So
and I do got to make mention. One thing I find myself saying is you'll see sometimes on some of these ponds, I think we have bad fishing. Like there was a night we caught a fair number of fish.
Yeah, pretty
good size. But you got to kind of keep it in context. And I know what a really good night on that pond is like. Yeah, and it spoils you. Or it jades you a little bit. Yeah. Because you have those nights that what some of those ponds can produce. And when it doesn't happen, you're like, oh, I had bad fishing. Yeah. And I guess in reality, relative to everything else all things being equal, it's not bad fishing. Just at that pond. Because some ponds we fish, they're not going to hold trout any bigger than 14 inches.
No, that's right.
13 inches would be the biggest. So you catch a foot-long fish, and you're like, wow, that's a nice
trout for
nice
the
fish
water.
For this pond. Yeah. And but so it's all contextual. Some ponds, I guess my expectations are a little higher than others. But so that was a really, really good trip. Got home just after midnight.
Yeah, it was late.
Yeah. And then I was all jazzed up. Couldn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
I had to show Lacey all the videos of the fish.
Yeah.
And didn't see any wildlife.
No, I think a rabbit, Paul, was all we saw. A couple rabbits. Yeah, no wild. A bear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. We did see a bear coming out at night.
Which, I've seen a ton of bear this year.
Yeah.
I was talking with someone yesterday, and I was just kind of reflecting over this June. And I think I've seen 6 bear this June just driving to and from work.
Yeah, oh yeah.
One was walking across the lawn.
Yeah.
It was a huge bear. And then I just saw one by the golf course in Prescal, little thing, covered in burdocks from nose to tail. And he was this little scrawny thing trying to get across the road. But I've seen a lot of bear.
Yeah.
A lot of bear this year. So I guess moving on from fishing, talk a little bit about some gear.
You're going to do a bag dump, are you?
Well, it's not really a bag dump because there's not a lot in it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got to confess, I pulled out all my muzzleloader stuff from it today.
Did you?
I haven't touched it since we muzzleloaded. Yeah. There was wrappers and all that good stuff in it, so I kind of cleaned that out. But I'll grab the bag here.
The deal about that, Paul, when I was young, it was a lot of fun to put it together, and you read a lot of articles how other people, and it was fun, and you're kind of living the hunt while you're putting this together, and you're replenishing stuff you've used or lost or whatever. But as you get older, the reality of the situation is a lot of that stuff
is unnecessary.
For
me, I've got lots of bags.
Yeah.
For me, it's more of an organization system.
Yeah.
So I tend to, when I'm going hunting or fishing, I'm usually doing it right after work and getting stuff done around here.
Right.
And I don't want to be searching for stuff.
Right.
So I've got everything together. So I pretty much know if I go through it once a year and just keep it, like preseason, keep it all together, make sure everything's in there, which I messed up when we were out fishing because my headlamp was in here.
Right.
Which really, I really don't like a headlamp a lot of the times. When it's dark.
Now, I use mine every night. We fish 3 nights.
Your eyes can adjust.
And I used it every night, and I'm glad I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot it here.
So that is something I do use, and I don't know if I've ever used it deer hunting.
Well, it's a different...
I would put it in there. I would. Yeah, it would be part of my...
I keep it. But the deal is deer hunting, though, too, is when you have snow on the ground at nighttime, it's bright.
It's bright.
And you usually can see pretty good, unless you're in some dense woods.
Yeah.
It's pretty thick cover.
And you
can see well enough.
And I'm going to get back to what we talked about so many times before, is it's not like it was 40, 50 years ago. You don't have to go far to hit a road. Yeah.
I really never pull out a compass or my GPS anymore.
No.
I use Onyx now like most everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much just like, usually the only time I use a GPS or Onyx, well, I should back that up. The only time that I used to use a GPS was if I shot a deer and wanted to get close to it.
Right. It comes in handy if you, right. Yeah.
I don't use GPS at all anymore.
No. No.
And Onyx either. It's easy and I can kind of see what's coming up, where I'm headed.
Right.
How crappy it's going to be if I'm headed into dark groves or clear cut or something like that. Yeah. But as far as using it or if I'm marking deer sign, trail cameras, I'll add pictures to it from my different cameras.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, as far as a safety issue, something you're going to need to get out of the woods, you don't need it.
It may happen someday, but
it may, but
not on a regular basis.
Not likely, Paul. Like I say, there's just so many roads, and if you know your area, you know the brooks that you're headed towards or the rivers, and usually you know the road crossings on the brooks and rivers,
or a mountain off in the distance, hills and stuff like that.
You know, we pretty much know the area we hunt, and it is so fragmented that getting into a patch of woods where you could spend any appreciable time walking it doesn't exist.
Not anymore.
No.
So years ago we used, they were like fleece Cabela's fanny packs.
Yeah.
And
I still have mine.
Yeah. And I did a video actually on this. Big Woods Bucks had I love wool. And then years ago they came out with the wool, they call it belt pack.
Right.
And I was pretty tickled about that because that little orange fanny pack would get wet.
Yeah.
Snow collects on them.
Yeah.
And I like wool. And so we used that for years. I don't like a backpack at all.
No.
I don't like anything on my shoulders.
No.
Because I don't know, it's just weird pulling up a gun and having pressure on my shoulders. And I don't carry a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of extra weight. So years ago, when they came out with this, I get the Big Woods Bucks wool belt pack, which I've had good luck with it. Yeah. Like I said, I did kind of a review on it, I think last winter. Mm-hmm. The belt was nothing fantastic on it, just a ballistic nylon. It kind of sags on your back end a little bit.
It does, yeah. They could have a wider belt. Some of them that you buy, those fanny packs, the belt flares out as it meets the pack, and that might be a little...
Those were all nylon packs. Like I remember a lot of them, and they had like water bottle holders on them. All these pockets that would collect garbage, sticks, and anything that has a pocket that's open is going to fill with leaves and sticks and pine needles like crazy.
Yeah, debris.
So I don't want anything like that. So, nothing's perfect. And, like I said, the GPS holder on the top, it was convenient. I can just pick the pack up off my hips and spin it around. And as far as aesthetics, that little pocket on the top kind of looked like something I would do in home ec class. But it served a purpose, which no longer has a purpose. I think their new packs don't have it.
Yeah,
They've
I
got
don't
some
know.
updated versions of
They
these.
do. I've
which I got to
seen
check out.
I've seen some podcasts on it, and I don't. I think one of the things, the belt is a little wider, isn't
Probably.
it?
And I think they've got a couple different sizes, and I haven't kept up on it. So
Yeah, there is a smaller size now.
they've got some with shoulder straps, I think, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Just from listening to their podcast of
Yeah.
what I've gathered.
Yeah.
But so yeah, GPS on the top, which I'll go through it real quick. Which I'd used the GPS Map 64 for quite a few years, and I haven't turned it on in a few years.
Yeah.
It's, I guess, a backup to a backup to a backup.
Yeah.
But a couple pairs of gloves. I love wool gloves. These ones are from Stagger, which finding wool gloves has always been hard. I was using a pair of wool gloves. I don't know where I got them, but I got them back. I think I was in high school, maybe first year of college. I found a pair of wool gloves someplace, and I used them. I'm 41 now,
Right.
So it must have been I was 20,
Yeah.
19. Used them for 20. There was holes in them. They were all falling apart. But the fantastic thing, my hands are going to get wet no matter what.
Right.
I'm not going to wear a waterproof pair of gloves because I can't operate my gun with them.
Right.
Lightweight pair of gloves. You're touching snow, falling off the trees.
Yeah.
They're going to get wet. So as long as it's wool, it never feels wet, and my hands stay warm,
Yeah.
comfortable, can still run the gun. So yeah, Stagger had a pair. I don't know, they came out a couple of years ago or last year. I like them a lot. I've used them
they
one
got
season.
the rubber on them there, don't
Yep.
they, Paul? That's like the Big Woods bucks there. They had the gray ones, the gray wool
Well, you know,
with the rubber dots on them and stuff. I wear a pair like that.
When
I have a pair like that.
So my other ones, the original ones, had rubber dots. They all came off.
Yeah.
I think after a couple of seasons.
They're gonna, if you wear them long
they
enough,
wore off.
They
These
are.
look a little more robust, but we'll find out. Time will tell. I really didn't wear them much this past fall.
Yeah.
I mean, before Stagger came out with some, I wanted some Big Woods box one, but gosh, they were always sold out.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my hands on any.
Yeah.
So yeah, ended up. How do they feel?
Good. They've got some good rubber grip there on the.
Pretty robust.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this past fall wasn't that cold, really. I got poor circulation in my hands. I've got Raynaud's, or a touch of Raynaud's.
Yeah.
I'm certain. Ironically, doesn't bother me deer hunting. It's only.
But you're usually prancing around the woods,
only other
building
time.
up steam. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
sitting down is where you get cold.
Yeah. Then a backup pair of gloves, just in case, I don't know, these get too wet or frozen or something like that. Wool knit hat, which I very seldom wear.
Yeah, once in there again, if
I was sitting waiting for a ride or something.
If you're tracking, you're probably just going with the ball cap type.
Yeah.
Like you're wearing now.
And that's a
Blaze
Filson.
orange.
Yeah, I wear just a thin waxed cotton hat.
Right.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's a wool Filson hat. Can't forget the grunt tube.
Nope.
Which this one's the extinguisher.
Yeah.
One of the guys I work with does a lot of hunting in Ohio, and a lot of the good buck hunters. He hunts with a couple guys in Ohio that shoot some beautiful bucks with a bow.
Yeah.
And this is their go-to.
I carry a grunt tube, usually around my neck, but
I don't use it enough.
with use the lanyard. Yeah.
I don't use it enough for sure.
Some of the boys there that the podcast, they've got a pretty good. They can do a good grunt call with their mouths, but I'm not that talented.
Yeah.
I can't. Mine doesn't sound very good.
So I've got a second one, but it actually fell apart.
Yeah.
So waterproof container, matches, and a whistle. If I'm going to referee a game out in the woods, I guess we can use this. But no, there's matches in there. What else we got? Fire starter. A lot of this stuff has been in here since I took the hunter safety course.
Yeah.
And there were some necessities that you had to have in it.
Yeah.
I got some fire starter. I always remember Jody saying, well, you got enough of it there. You could always start starving, chew on one of those. Maybe.
Yeah. The thing about fire, and I used to carry that, Paul, I would probably ditch that now with the woods. Birch bark is never far away and a great fire starter.
It is.
And even yellow birch, peeling yellow birch, and great fire starter. So I would probably opt for the natural out in the, you can always find it. You can, and no matter how wet it is, it'll burn.
Yeah.
So
Another compass. Can't have too many of those.
yeah, a real compass.
A real compass. I keep a kind of a bushcraft knife in here. I like this knife a lot. This is by Tops Knives. They're a company out in Colorado, I believe, started by some military guys. They all their knives are like tactical, bushcraft, really robust knives. Wicked heavy metal. It would be a good knife. Let's say if you're stuck out in the woods all night or something, you need to split some wood or something, put this on a log, beat and pound on it with another log to split some wood.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, it's a really robust. I like their knives a lot. Not cheap. I think their knives run like a couple $100.
Yeah.
But I believe they guarantee their edges for life too.
Yeah.
I believe you can send them back and they'll refurbish the edge for you. You just pay shipping, I believe. But Tops Knives, I like those a lot. Another way to start a fire, this would be
what they call a ferro rod.
Yep. This one's
magnesium or what?
Yep. This one's Strike Force. You can get it off Amazon.
Yeah.
Brought the kids out one day just to see if I could do it. And start a fire, no problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, plenty of ways to start a fire.
Yeah. I carry a Bic lighter and some wind and waterproof matches. That's my couple ways, and a headlamp. I like to have a headlamp.
Headlamp. This is a good one.
Yeah, but even then, Paul, when I think of all the years I've deer hunted, and I have been out in the dark, but before I had a headlamp, since I've had one, I don't know if I've ever used it.
No,
Paul.
Usually it's bright enough that it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Petzl makes some really good headlamps.
Yeah.
You've got the same one, I think, don't you?
No, I don't. No, we actually bought that one for you for your birthday. Yeah, that was a fairly.
And I forget which one. This is the Actic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actic Core?
It was a $70 light.
Yeah, works really good.
Yeah,
use it more coming out fishing.
I do use mine. Yeah, they're great for that, and yeah.
Another compass. What else we got in here? Oh, we've got the black electrical tape.
For your muzzle loader. Yeah.
Put over the end of the muzzle loader.
I always carried the, back in the day before we had GPS and stuff, Paul, we always carried the fluorescent orange flagging tape. If we shot a deer, we may have to flag in another, but that's pretty much gone by the wayside now. Like I say, you can carry it, and maybe some zip ties. People throw a few zip ties to put their.
I got a second headlamp in here too.
Yeah.
In case the first one.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I couldn't carry all that, Paul.
And then an old drag harness.
Yeah, I carry about 6 feet of rope for a drag rope.
Yep.
Coiled up.
What do we get in the front? Another compass.
Yeah.
SD card reader.
Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah.
If I go buy my trail camera.
Yeah.
Or if I go buy someone else's trail camera.
And you want to read
and
theirs?
I want to see what... No, I'm kidding.
We've never done it.
No, wouldn't do that.
No, we've never done it.
And then the tried and true Tink 69.
Yeah, and I haven't used that stuff in years. I do have a bottle of it, Paul, and that is something I could jettison and probably not miss. I
had a buddy, funny story about that. I had a buddy, we were headed out to East Chapman early one morning.
Yeah.
He left it in his truck overnight. We were, 17, 18 years old. And so it was frozen. He puts it up on the dash. So he runs the heater from here
didn't leak, did it? Down into his dash. Oh, you'll never get that out.
So it was frozen solid. He's like, son of a gun. So he puts it up on top of his heater.
It smells like cow crap. Is what it smells like. Yeah.
Running at full blast, and pretty soon we can smell.
Few of the things that I didn't say,
and that was down in his heater.
I don't know if you've emptied out your bag there, but
I pretty much have.
Yeah. Toilet paper. I always I used to Ziploc bag. Yeah. I have some toilet paper there. That's one thing that over the years that I have needed. I
knock on wood. I never run into that issue.
Oh, I have run into it
But-
many times, and I think a lot of hunters have. And
Yeah.
so that might be a good thing to. It doesn't weigh anything,
Nope.
obviously, and you put it in a Ziploc bag, and
I've
and
made
you're
quite a
good
mess
to
here,
go.
too.
And I mean, we could go on and on. You could maybe take an extra pair of wool socks, put them in a Ziploc bag again, because
Yep.
feet get wet, even in rubber boots.
Yeah. Oh,
The sweat and stuff.
I also keep, which they're not in here right now, but spare set of batteries.
Yeah.
In a Ziploc baggie.
Yeah.
Um,
you
for
get,
the GPS, for the headlamp.
I was going to say you can get into two different size, AA and AAA for your headlamp, and your GPS may not take the same batteries, and
And now, and I do carry, I mean, I will carry other batteries in Ziploc bag because I'm carrying cameras now and stuff like that. So I've got some of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't carry water.
No, I don't either.
And I hydrate well in the morning.
Yeah.
And I don't like a lot of weight, and especially a water bottle sloshing around.
I don't carry any water.
I guess if I was really in a pickle, I could find some place to get a drink. I avoid that at all costs.
They make those straws you can stick into a
Yeah.
brook or whatever, and they're supposed to be safe. And
I just don't have a problem going
yeah,
all day long
yeah.
without, I can make it to 4 o'clock, no problem.
And one of the things that we didn't talk about that we use every time we go in the woods is our lunch.
Yes. I was going to mention that. That
Yeah.
goes in.
A sandwich and maybe a chocolate bar
And I
or
usually
a power bar.
I bring some dark chocolate with me too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Just a sandwich and maybe a power bar.
Go pretty light.
Yeah.
Make sure I got that video on.
Yeah. Yeah, you could carry over the years. I used to carry a garbage bag, a space blanket. I carry a space blanket and a garbage bag, and I had to use the garbage bag a number of times for the heart and liver.
Yeah.
Bringing out a heart and liver and space blanket. Yeah,
I get rid of that.
yeah.
Used to have one. In there.
The odds of me using it are slim to none. I know it doesn't take much room, but if you keep adding that stuff, that it does take a lot of room.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's days now, Paul, I throw maybe a GPS and a lighter in my pocket, my shells, and a sandwich.
Yep.
My wool coats have lots of pockets, and
now I do keep a spare clip in my pocket, which I know technically it's a magazine, but in Maine we call them clips.
Yeah.
People get up in arms about that. That's not a clip. I know.
Yeah.
Same thing with antlers on a deer. We call them horns a lot.
Yeah.
They're technically antlers, but I'm calling them horns, dang it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so clip in my pocket. I wear a belt that has my buck knife that I use to get the deer out. That's a ammo belt.
Yeah.
So basically, I think it's 15 shells.
Yeah.
Keeps it it's well balanced. Instead of having a box of shells or something in your pack, you just have them around you.
Yeah.
And if I need to reload a clip or something, I can pop them out.
Yeah.
Real easy. And I also keep a Leatherman on it too.
Yeah.
Because I've run into so many times where I needed a screwdriver or just needed something.
Well, you have used your Leatherman a number of times to make a drag stick.
Yep.
To tie your rope on.
And it's got a saw on it.
Yeah, it's got a little saw, and you have cut a little hardwood branch.
That comes
there.
in handy. I had a sling break one time.
Yeah.
So I took the screw off the end of that. I like having a Leatherman with me. So I keep my buck knife and Leatherman on the ammo belt, and then the ammo belt with this bag. So let's say if I'm heading out hunting, I just grab those.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
And we both, for knives, we carry the Buck 110.
Yeah.
Folding knife there. I've had mine for over 40 years. I've had mine.
Yeah. One of the guys at work gives me a hard time. He's like, "You're still using a Buck 110?"
Yeah.
Like I've got it every deer with it,
Yeah.
and I'll never not use it.
On a side note on that, Paul, I think it was last summer, I got a tour through the Buck factory. And those knives,
right.
out in Idaho, I believe. And those knives sell out. Those buck
they really?
110s, they produce a lot of them.
That's a traditional.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
traditional.
they're a very popular knife, and the price is really reasonable for a quality knife. And they have to be quality. I've used mine for, like I say, over 40 years.
Yep.
And I carry it a lot just out and about.
Yeah. The other knife that I always carry with me, and I carry this every day actually, it's a little Benchmade bug out.
Yeah.
I like Benchmade knives a lot, I guess while we're on the topic of knives. And I get really good blades. This one is really light. It's like a polymer handle. Not the most robust handle if you're going to do a lot of work with it, but carrying it, you don't know it's there.
Right.
They do make what they call scales. So they're different. Basically, it's a handle. So you can get different scales for them that are a little more robust. But I like this composite. And I carry this deer hunting too.
Yeah.
In my, right in my pocket. So yeah, I like Benchmade knives a lot. They're a pretty reputable company, but they're not cheap knives.
No.
I think this little knife is like $160, $200.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the Benchmade bug out. They've got all kinds of different knives, but the bug out is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
So anything else?
I don't know. We named a lot of stuff, Paul, and like I say, over the years, I've kind of backed off, and there are times when I go out and I just, like I say, I take a few things out of the pack and leave the pack in the truck and go light.
Yep.
At this stage of the game, I don't want to be lugging around any more than I have to.
No.
You know, you get your wool clothes on and boots and everything, and you can add a lot of weight to your person. And
start lugging a 6 or 7 pound
gun
around.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of weight on my back. That's why I like the belt packs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's hardly there.
Yeah.
And like I said, this nothing gets wet in this. I don't know if it's completely waterproof, but nylon on the inside and wool on the outside. I've had it in some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah, we have. It doesn't have to be raining or snowing to get, because when you're tracking, you're going through, everything's going to be snow in short order.
Our last day muzzleloader,
it poured.
Torrential downpour.
It poured.
And nothing in the pack was wet. But I mean, I wasn't wet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm wearing just a wool jacket. No
there
rain
were parts
gear.
of me, the front of my legs get wet through, but you don't get, with wool, you don't get really cold even when you get wet.
Just around my collar, my shoulders.
Yeah.
Where you would think those that'd be soaked right through.
Yeah.
But my coat weighed probably an extra 20 pounds.
They're double caped, so around the shoulders.
Sucked in a lot of water.
Yeah.
But it did the trick.
Yeah.
So anything else that I missed you can think of?
No, like I say, one of the most important thing for me is the food, having a sandwich and
snack time,
a power bar. There's one thing I do carry in mine, Paul. I made a rattle bag with hardwood dowels.
Yeah.
And I do carry that. But that would be more if I was going to sit. You know, if I was going into a place and I was going to sit and then I may want some of that stuff, you know, that the rattle bag. And
But again, then it becomes a thing where you start grabbing this, that, and the other thing, and before you know it, you
can have a lot of stuff in there.
The kitchen sink in there. Kind of like us going camping.
Really, a good barometer is you look back over the last 5 years or 10 years and you say, all right, I've carried this. Have I ever used it?
Yep.
You know, and so.
Yeah.
It may be time. I've gone the other way. I've gone lighter as I've gotten older. I've jettisoned some stuff that I don't feel I really need. So.
Yeah. So anything else you want to talk
about? No.
Oh, and for information, we were talking about loons, you know, them learning how to catch fish from fishermen, wonder how long they live. I know birds can live a long time.
I looked it up too.
Right? Like cockatoos, I've heard of people having cockatoos that could live 80 years. And we were talking, I'm like, geez, I'm sure loons can live a long time, but it's 25 to 30 years?
They said the longest recorded, I think, Paul, was 25, but they believe 30 plus.
30 plus, yeah.
That is the...
so that means, in theory, that loon, and I'll tell you, the loons have gotten worse.
Yeah.
So in theory, that loon could be the loon that was chasing my fish
Yeah.
when I was 15.
Yeah. It very well could be.
So
Yeah.
it seems, unlikely.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they weren't that keen on fishermen then as they are now.
They've got to figure it out.
Holy smokes.
They do. They know what they're doing. They know how to survive. They have figured out how to survive without actually doing the fishing themselves.
Oh, word. No,
it is interesting. So,
and I mean, literally, you're an arm's distance away from a loon.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. You don't see that anywhere.
Not in right.
And you see
Most
that bird
lakes.
come up like 6 feet away. It's a big bird.
It's a big bird, and like you say, you're reaching down to grab the
And
fish.
they're swimming underneath your hand.
And they're right underneath you, and you're going, I hope he doesn't come up and snatch that out of my hand.
I hope he doesn't think my finger's a brook trout.
Yeah, he could leave a mark.
I don't want to end up in jail for getting in a fight with a federally protected bird.
Yeah. Well, the wardens are good about that. They said, just don't tell them.
Oh, yeah.
They said, just
Don't tell them.
Yeah. If you shoot them, don't tell them. So.
Yeah. No.
We didn't shoot any.
No, wouldn't do that.
We didn't carry a gun. So.
It's not worth a few brook trout. But you wonder how many brook trout they take. Smaller ones, if you play them hard and tire them out, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
Be an easy meal.
Yeah. And you could find out the effect, and that's a little pond. You could find out the effect. I mean, I'm sure there's information on how much a loon eats in the summertime there. How many fish, how many pounds and stuff.
They must eat a lot, because I can remember one time years ago, a loon came up several times with fish in its mouth, and I'm thinking, man, he must be full.
Yeah, they like those 10 to 12-inch fish there.
Oh.
Those slide down easy.
Yeah, they come up, put their head right out.
Yeah.
They get that repositioned head first, right
Head
down
first,
their belly.
Right down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder if they do that with perch.
Oh, I think they would. I think they would eat just about any.
Might be a little rough going down.
Well, they get them.
Get them the wrong way.
If you get them head first, it's really not a problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't go tail first.
Don't go tail first.
Might get caught up.
Yeah. And I'm sure they got it figured out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that just about covers everything. That we got a few more videos from our trip coming out, and then the one with the big fish will be after those. So I got some editing to do.
You're going to put the camping ones out first, and then in order.
Yeah. I'm kind of not OCD, but I don't know, just sequential.
Yeah.
It's kind of how my mind works.
Yeah. So
it makes sense to me. But so anyway, thanks again to Dan. Dan, I love the hat. If you watch this, it's a really nice hat. Really nice hat. So Whitetail Warriors, check them out. I'd like to shoot a big buck with it, but it's not orange.
No, that's your camp hat, Paul.
That'll be my camp hat.
That's your camp hat.
Yep. So
when you're lounging around camp.
Yep, good hat for that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you made it this far, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll probably do one next week.
Let me know when you want me.
All right.
So.
All right. So until next time, get outside.
It's good for the soul.
See ya.